Hi, and welcome back to Two Double D.
No.
What?
Dan, no.
What?
We changed it. That was a name. That was just the holder. We changed it.
What did we change it to again? And why?
What do you mean? What do you have amnesia? The whole reason? Okay.
No, let's tell them the story of how we became friends and why we changed the name.
Okay. Well, the name that we changed it to was one that you and I already created years ago.
How many years ago was this?
2018, 2019, when we first made an Instagram account about doing things for a hangover remedy the next day after. We never recorded us getting trash.
No,
we
course
always
not.
recorded the aftermath and what we did for the hangover.
Yeah, that's right.
Which was
Hair of the Dog Adventures.
correct.
And thus the new name, people.
Yeah. Because I told Dan, I was like, we already had a name from an account that we created that we started a while ago.
We should go back to it.
Yeah, I was like, why not keep it? And that's kind of our home base. Plus, we already came up with a good name. Two Double D's sounded stupid.
That was my idea.
Yeah, Hair of the Dogs was mine.
This guy, so selfish.
I think you mean brilliant, but sure. I mean, we'll go with selfish.
Today's episode is sponsored by... You guessed it.
Sorry. No. Sorry. Dan, we can't legally say sponsored by. Remember
It's
that.
not legally sponsored by. Sponsored by.
Today's non-sponsor is, again, Pabst Blue Ribbon and Velos. Again, please call us back sometime. For God's sake, please.
They're mostly on sale.
Which ones? You're pointing at both. You can just say it. The Velos. Yeah, mostly on sale.
There's always a sale on them.
Yeah.
Because
we all know
7-Eleven.
Zyn sucks. And I'm proud to say that here, and I don't care if I don't get them as a sponsor. Zyn sucks, dude. Like, they were the first ones through the wall.
Watch them be the first ones. to
No, they're
sponsor
not.
us.
They're not going to be the first. They wouldn't.
I would laugh
They
so
would
hard.
never. Zyn sucks.
If I got an email from them, I would be like,
They
bro,
were-
you gotta talk it up.
Look, in terms of the nicotine pouches, Zyn was definitely like the biggest breakthrough, especially here in America, for the nicotine pouches. But over time, I think people realized they're actually not that good. Yeah, Velo's way better.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, you know what we should do? I'd love to go. So, you know that all these like nicotine pouches, they're all based out of Sweden. Sweden.
Yeah.
Dude, if we went to Sweden, have you seen that like there's like conventions you can go to and
No, that's
just
so cool.
hundreds and hundreds of nicotine pouch brands and stuff that you can we saw right? There's just so many options.
What a dream. What a dream. You want Fruity Pebble flavored? Well, I got it, man.
One day. And if we do, we'll film it. We promise. If we could remember to
We're talking like a couple years down the line, man.
Well, a couple. Hold on. Okay. So it's definitely not going to be a couple years down the line. Here is why.
a little quiet for a little while.
You're still going to keep it quiet?
Yeah, because I haven't done an actual...
Them guessing?
Yeah. Yeah, they can murmur on these words.
Well, I'm hoping that some of you are smart enough to know what we're talking about. But officially, Dan does not want to release that information just yet.
Anyways, so how did we meet again?
Oh, that's right. That's what this episode is about, how we met. Thumbnail, how we met.
I know how...
Whatever working title we go on.
I know how you and Max met, like, off the back of my hand, but
I don't know who Max is.
It's our other friend.
We got to give backstory. All right, so I can start with my end.
Yeah.
On how, and then you can go. Okay, so I moved back to Florida after spending a year in Ohio. First ex-girlfriend, all this stuff. Moved back to Florida, broke it off, whatever. Came back. I had no friends. Zero whatsoever. So I was trying to figure out, like, hey, how do I make friends again? And I saw near FGCU College, there was a church there called Summit Church, and they had a youth night. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'll go there for a youth night on a Wednesday. There's a whole bunch of people. I don't really hang out with anybody there. I talked to a few people, but nothing really clicked until I met Max Solane. I met Max it was pretty funny because that church was very much like, talk to the person next to you, get to know them, say hi, shake hands. So at one point during the youth night, they were like, all right, now everybody gather in the circle with whoever you're next to and get into a prayer group. And I'm like, this is it's a bit much for me. And apparently it was for Max too. So we get into a prayer group with the guys next to us and take turns praying. Max is next to me and he goes after me. So I say a prayer and I go to Max and Max isn't saying anything. He's not joining in. And I open my eyes and I'm looking at him and he's looking at me and I'm like, I'm like, say something. He's like, and then finally they realized Max wasn't going to say anything and they just go to the next guy. Then afterwards, Max and I were talking and, he was like, oh yeah, I'm from Indiana and I'm going to college here. And, we just exchanged numbers like, yeah, let's hang out. And we hung out for a while. And then one night he's like, hey, I'm going to bring my buddy to hang out with us.
I'm the buddy.
Hope you don't mind. And I was like, no, I don't care, dude. Great. More the merrier. And I met Dan.
Yeah. This disaster of
we
a
went
masterpiece.
We went to Cigar Bar in Gulf Coast Town Center hanging out. I meet Max and Max is like, oh yeah, my buddy's in the humidor. So I go in and Dan's there looking at cigars and he turns around and you guys don't know, like you think Dan's kind of like out there now. He was even more so when he was 19. But turns around and he's like, hey, man, oh, cool. Oh, nice to meet you. And I'm just like, this is just so much energy. It's a lot to take in. And we just, we're just talking, just, hey, where are you from? All this stuff. He's, oh, I'm from Winter Haven, all this stuff. And
I don't think he liked me at the moment.
That's a lie. I liked him. It's a lot of energy. And I'm a very calm person. Low energy person, comparatively. Not general. But I even asked him, because I always loved playing it, because I looked at him and I knew immediately, I was like, ethnicity-wise, I was like, I'm going to guess half Korean. He's like, you're right. But I didn't know his dad's also a Scottish descendant. And then I asked him, I was like, what do you think I am? And he looked me up and down. Don't say it. He looked me up and down. He goes, Egyptian? I said no. However, that was one of the most original responses. Because normally everybody says the same thing. They say Scottish, Irish, Italian, whatever. But I'm actually 100% Cuban. So while he was wrong, it was still one of the most original. I was like, all right, there's something to this guy.
You don't know if we ever get big. If we ever run into our fans, they're going to be like, Egyptian? Every time.
All right, so I'm gonna cut myself off there because I want you to talk about like your point where you met Max and leading up to that point. Now it's your turn.
I met Max day one moving into the dorms. He was like going through each dorm hall and like just shaking everybody's hand. I was like, who the heck is this guy? And then for whatever reason, the two of us just hit it off and we hung out quite a bit. And then like we met Alden in the mix and then
Alden, yeah.
And then we ended up, I was on the same floor as Craig. So we ended up hanging out with Craig a lot. And then he was like, hey, I got a friend. Like, I don't know if you really smoke cigars or anything like that, but me and him had already been there like twice. So I don't know anything about you. He just goes, I got a buddy going. You want to go? And I was like, whatever. He drove his old piece of crap truck.
His Jeep.
Yeah.
He had a Jeep.
Yeah.
The piece of crap truck. He had a nice ass Jeep. What are you talking about?
This is before the Jeep.
No. Because when I first met him.
No, yeah, you're right.
Don't you dare.
You're right.
I know this. Hold on. I know this.
Yeah.
Because when Max and I first were talking and we were walking out of the church, he's like, how do you feel about Jeeps? And I was like, I hate Jeeps. He goes, oh. And he pointed at his car. He's got this super lifted.
It was a lifted one. Yeah.
Jeep. And he was like, I love Jeeps. And I was like, all right, I still hate them. But
yeah.
So this is when he had that nice Jeep.
That nice Jeep, the black one.
He didn't get his truck yet.
Yeah, the black one. And so we go over to the thing and he's like, I go into the humidor and I'm looking for something. I like full bodies, something that's going to knock you on your butt. And I'm just looking through stuff. I think Nick was working that day.
There's a good chance Nick
Yeah,
started working back there in 2016.
It was either Nick
Oh,
or
no.
it was Sultan.
No, yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was Sultan. It was Sultan.
Nick wasn't there yet.
Yeah, it was Sultan.
Nick didn't come back yet. It was
Yeah, it was
Sultan.
Sultan.
Yeah.
And man, what a good dude.
Sultan? Yeah.
Yeah, what a good dude. Anyways, so I'm looking
Anyway.
through things, and he's trying to figure out my flavor profile, and then Damien walks in, we go through that whole thing, and then Damien goes, "Oh, he'll smoke this," and Sultan goes, I don't know," and Damien's like, "Nah, it's fine," and that's how I got into cigars.
See, I didn't know that you weren't into cigars before that.
I was not.
Really?
Because I smoked one with Max before, but he smokes acids at the time.
Which,
And
I
he
mean,
slowly
yeah.
started getting into LFDs because of you.
Right.
And then, changing his palate and everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually how it goes with novice. They usually start with the sweet,
Yeah.
flavored cigars before they get to the...
No, that was my first cigar ever, and it was just like,
Well,
damn.
that's shocking because Dan wanting like a full-bodied... that doesn't make sense for someone who never smokes. Unless he was just like, you're one of those guys who's like, I want to be on my ass. And
Yeah, I just wanted to try it.
yeah, not knowing what you're getting into.
I had no idea.
I didn't know that was... Yeah, I didn't know that was really... Because...
So that was really like my second cigar ever.
Which is crazy to me because going forward, so then after that, it was Max, Dan, and I hanging out all the time.
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot. We, always go to cigar bar. Like, not every time, but I'd say majority of the time we hang out at the cigar bar.
I mean,
Which was great.
it got to the
because-
point where we were doing homework at the cigar
Now,
bar.
it's a really chill environment. Keep in mind, this was back before they put into law that you had to be 21 to get tobacco products.
Yeah.
So you could be 18 and go in a cigar bar, you just couldn't drink.
Yeah.
So we were all technically underage. Max was 18, you were 19, I was 20.
Yeah, Max is the youngest.
Max was the youngest. And my 21st birthday was only a few months away. But that's where we'd go. And at one point, we were texting Max, and Max was like, "Oh, I can't. I'm busy tonight." I forgot. I don't know what he was doing. He was busy.
I don't know. What
Either
he
with
was
fraternity or homework, he was busy. So then I messaged you, I was like, "Oh, Max is busy." And then I was like, we can just hang out, just us. We don't need Max to be there.
doing. And I'm like, okay.
So yeah, why not? And
I think my
This
exact
is-
words were, "Why not?"
this was where the beginning of our actual friendship technically started, I think. It wasn't when we were talking with Max. It was
No.
when we finally started hanging out, just us.
Yeah,
So I arrive. Hold on. No, it's my turn.
because you were still Max's friend, and I
Right,
was just
and-
a friend of
And
Max.
to me, you were
Yeah.
still Max's friend. So he's already there. I arrive at Cigar Bar Park, and he's messaging me. He's like, "Hey, come to my car." I'm like, why? He's like, "Just trust me. Come to
We
my
don't condone underage drinking. Just have to throw that disclaimer in.
Well, spoilers. Come to my car. And I was like, I mean, I guess. Keep in mind, I was never a big drinker. I never really drank before I was 21 at all. Like almost zero. Almost zero. So he's like, all right, come on. And so we get to his car and I'm thinking like, do you want to listen to music? Like, what are you doing? And we get his back seat. I'm like, why the fuck are we getting in your back seat?
He says that out loud, by the way.
And he's like, no, come on, trust me. So we get in the back seat. The car's not on. We're just sitting back there. I'm like, what the hell are we
Pull
doing?
up a backpack.
What are we doing? He gets his backpack. He opens it up, and there's like 8 Yingling bottles in there. He's like, let's drink these before we go inside. I'm thinking, who the fuck is this guy?
And at that moment,
I was like, you know what? I was like, fuck it. All right. So we just start pounding Yinglings before we go to sleep. And then has nothing to do with the alcohol, but I just don't really remember what we did. I mean, it was general cigar bar stuff. We just go in,
I
chat,
think
smoke cigars, sat down on the sofa.
I think we sat on the sofa, smoked
Just
cigars,
chilled.
and talked to Ron. We talked
Ron.
to Ron,
yeah.
and he was getting a crack out of it.
Speaking of, Ron's the one who would wear these hats.
Yeah, I know. He would.
So that was the first time that Dan and I actually hung out together, and was kind of like the introduction of just us by ourselves. After that, we started just hanging out more, just without Max. Like,
Kind
just
of.
messages like, hey, what are you doing? Like, nothing. Okay, let's hang out. And I'd come over to Soho.
Yeah. We
And
used to
your
go to the
dormitory.
gym together a lot.
Yeah, I remember that. Literally every day after work. And I used to clean pools. So imagine like being up at 7 a.m. all the way to like 5 o'clock. I've been outside cleaning pools, a lot of heavy exercise. And then after that was over, immediately when I was done, I would never change or anything, still be like hot and sweaty from cleaning pools, come over to Soho in FGCU and go to the gym with Dan.
Yeah.
And we used to work out every single day. That was a great time.
Yeah, that was good.
That was probably the
times.
best shape I'd ever been in my entire life, like working out.
And then a couple
like
years
double
down the
time.
line, after hanging out quite a bit, my my brain was like marketing idea, and he was like, "What?" I was like, "What if we just made an Instagram page about because we drank quite a bit more than we do now."
I need a sign or something to call just like BS to pull up when I go.
Okay, we still drink. We just don't drink as much as we used
I had to call
to.
BS. You jumped the gun on that one. That's not how it happened. Dan, I need a sign here because this is okay. Look, you're going to learn pretty soon. Dan loves to fabricate stories. And I know I was there too, so I know them very well. I need to have a sign I could just pull up and be like, BS. This is not.
Anyways, so
Look,
one of the times.
hold on. You skipped the whole thing where you and Max were getting an apartment together.
Oh, yeah.
And then they wanted me to be the third. I decided not to just because. Just like I thought maybe it was a waste of money. And it was a good thing too because I ended up leaving the pool gig anyway. So at that point I wouldn't have been able to afford it anyways. But you and Max lived in, was it like the Preserve or something, like apartment complex?
It was an apartment complex.
It was a nice apartment.
It was across from Miramar Outlets.
Yeah, it was really,
Not the first one, but the second one.
really nice apartment. You and Max lived there. What's funny to me also is that at one point you went away to that Christian camp for the summer.
Yeah.
You left. Where was it based out of?
I think that was
What
the
state?
Chick-fil-A one.
What state? Like where?
I think that was Augusta, Georgia.
Right. You left, and so for the summer, Max was by himself, and Max would call me over. He's like, "Hey, do you want to like hang out? Maybe stay here a little." He was getting lonely, and he did not like so. Max and I became like temporary roommates while Dan was gone for like a whole summer. Then eventually Dan came back. What's funny to me, because we also have Alden in the mix, our friend Alden,
Yeah.
who at one point you guys were roommates also. And at one point you and I were roommates.
Yeah.
And then at another point, me and Alden were roommates. So all three of us at some point had roomed with
Lived
each other.
with each other, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. We
was
started,
a
me and
crazy
Max
time.
started a trend there.
Yeah.
Live with your friends.
Oh, do you remember my 21st birthday? It was a Tuesday. And
Is that the one where you brought me and
Yes.
Max a bottle
Yes.
each?
So I
And we're
invited,
like, dude, it's your birthday. What are you doing?
I invited Dan and Max to my birthday at Cigar Bar. I just freshly turned 21. Immediately after work was over, I went to Total Wine. And I just was, I people had already gotten me like gift cards to there because they knew. So
Because they knew.
first thing I bought for myself was a bottle of Lagavulin 16. Then I bought you a bottle of Hancock's Reserve 10-year bourbon.
Yeah.
And then I bought Max just a bottle of Bullet bourbon. Wasn't anything great.
None of those.
I knew he wouldn't. I knew he wouldn't really care. So, and then literally gifted you guys bourbon. Yeah, and you guys were like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
This is your
I'm pretty sure we both said, "What the?
Well,
are you
I mean,
doing?"
you guys are both underage, so there's no way you could buy me.
Yeah.
And even when we went to Cigar Bar, there's no way you guys could buy me drinks.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
But that was hilarious. And then there's one time you invited me over. Max wasn't there. He was busy or doing something. I don't know. It was just you and I hanging out. And then I came over and you gave me a drink. You're like, here, drink this. And I was like, what is it? You're like, it's bourbon and Coke. I was like, oh, bourbon and Coke. Great. I drank it and I was like, whoa. I was like, this is the best bourbon and Coke I've ever had in my entire life. This is so good. What did you use? No, it wasn't Blanton's. And you're like, oh, this. And you pulled out the bottle of Hancock's Reserve
Oh yeah.
that I bought. By the way, this is not a cheap bottle. This is
No,
not
it's
something that
not.
you mix. It's 10-year age Hancock's Reserve single barrel and he mixed it with Coke.
Mind you, that's before I even liked whiskey, though. So, I mean, can you blame a guy?
Like, he's treating it like it's Jack Daniels.
Now I drink everything
And I'm like,
straight.
you mix this? Well, damn, it's too good. Like, I was like,
You can't be mad about it. You can't be mad about it.
I was
if it's too
upset at the
good.
same time. I was like, wow, damn, this is the best rum and Coke ever. Not rum, sorry, bourbon and Coke I ever had in my life.
It's so good.
But that was, to me, that was hilarious. He took this. I was like, okay, all right.
And somewhere down the line, we decided to
Well, your dad, keep in mind, your dad was a big bourbon guy.
big bourbon
Big
guy, yeah.
bourbon guy for years. So
He
I
loves some Blantons.
Oh, I know. That's his favorite. I know that's a big reason why you also got into bourbon. Same thing with Steven. Why Steven?
Yeah, but
loves bourbon.
I've stepped away from bourbon.
Steven is his brother, by the way.
Yeah, I like rum the most now.
Yeah, you got away from whiskey. Now you like rum the most, which
Yeah.
is to me is like interesting.
I can drink rum straight like it's fucking water.
That's crazy to me. And to this day, rum is probably my least favorite spirit. Not that I hate it. It's just not one that I ever gravitate towards.
I think there's some rum that are just really good, and then there's some that you could just pour down the sink.
That's the same with any spirit.
Yeah, I know.
So, except vodka.
Yeah, vodka's always the same.
Vodka, I mean, you can get a really bad vodka, but there's a certain point.
You can still make it better.
There's a certain point where it's like there's not really much leveling up with it.
No,
like, yeah.
No. So
What's the difference between a $20 bottle of vodka and a $55 bottle of vodka? $35.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
So eventually we made this Instagram page on one of our drunken nights.
you keep jumping the gun. You haven't moved out of the preserve yet.
Yeah, well, I mean,
All right. Eventually, at one point,
we're
Dan
running out of time. You know?
and Max left the preserve. Dan went on his own. He lived in the Sarah Oaks.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, that's another person. Freaking.
Anyways,
Did you know he messaged my ex-fiance and told her I was cheating on her? Do you know this? And he used a fake name too. And immediately when I saw it, I was like, oh, For those who don't know,
talked about this.
is
He's married now.
oh well, I'm sorry for her. So guy
They
who
have
was
a kid.
he was always jealous of anybody who had a female. Always jealous of guys who had game because
Get
he had
this.
he had
He's
zero.
married and has a kid.
Crazy to me. So, and the only reason I know it's is because he went into like specific detail about me that I was like, it's. He went under the fake name in a spam email to her, under the fake name Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, that's 100%.
And I know because he never liked me.
No.
No, he was an asshole,
He did
and
not
he
like
never liked me. So he wanted to try and make it seem like I was cheating on my ex-fiance. And he's like, "Oh, Damien has girls over his house all the time." I didn't have a house. I lived with my parents. Didn't have a house at that point. And he's like, "Oh, he's only with you because you bought Green Day tickets." And as soon as I saw that text, the Green Day tickets, I was like, because I only told a few people about that we got Green Day tickets.
I forgot that he did this.
I was like, this motherfucker is trying to break up my relationship.
I forgot about that. Holy
What
shit.
an asshole.
What a dick.
Dude.
But good for him. He's
you-
married and have a kid now.
I don't
so,
give
you
a
know.
fuck about him.
He's not our problem anymore, man.
Never. But anyway. So at one point, you and I were also roommates, Sarah
Yeah.
Oaks.
Alden.
Went off on that. So one time while we were roommates, now you can get to the part.
Okay, fine.
Okay, one drunken night.
One drunken night.
The next day is when we
next
came up with.
day
is when I came
we
up with the
came up with
idea.
the idea.
So what happened? We didn't actually come up with the idea on the spot. What happened
I
was
kind of said it as a joke too.
I ended up like recording Dan and I being hungover. And I was like, let's do something interesting for the hangover. Like, let's go do something. Let's not, just get McDonald's or whatever. I told him,
dick.
I was like, let's go get Indian food. I love Indian food. Love Indian food. Absolutely. Like butter chicken rice with garlic naan bread. Oh my God. It's the best, especially for a hangover.
Nope.
And I was like, I'm just going to record your first experience. So we go, and I'm recording everything. And then at some point, I was like, we should turn this into a page.
And I said, okay, let's do it.
Yeah. And so I will take credit for it. I came up with the name Hair of the Dog Adventures.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was just Dan and I. Anytime that we got too drunk, wasted, hangover the next day, it wasn't that we planned it.
No.
It was just anytime that happened, I was like, okay, even in a hangover state, I was like, we gotta now make an episode.
Yeah. Like some of the episodes, we weren't even together when we were drinking, but the next day you were like, hey, you want to go do something? I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, there were a couple of those. I mean, the one to me that was the most fun was when we got really drunk at my uncle's place.
Oh, yeah.
But the next day we had to drive back
Yeah.
to your parents'
To my
place.
parents' place, yeah.
2 hours away in Polk County. And so I was like, well, fuck it. We'll just do a whole day in Polk County hangover remedy. So we went to brunch.
Yeah.
Got Bloody Marys.
Yeah. One of those places doesn't exist anymore.
Tempo. No longer there. But that's how we also got Hair of the Dog.
Yeah.
And then years went by. Dan eventually
Moved away.
moved away, got his own from his parents. From his parents. He got his own place in Winter Haven. He moved back home.
Yeah.
And then throughout the years, it was great because then I could just come over and hang out with you at your place. And
then I went and got married.
years later.
Then I went and got married.
I'm not even going to mention our bet,
Yeah.
which is paid in full, by the way. Should I tell them?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Okay. All right. So one night while I was over here, Dan's single. We're at his house.
We're both
pretty
messed up.
I mean, I don't want to say messed up. We're
in our
feeling
feels.
it. We're in our feel stage. And we're watching TV and stuff, and we're just talking about life, and him and I both have like failed relationships and all that stuff. And at one point, like I think I don't know if it was me or Dan. I'm gonna say Dan.
I want to say it was me.
I'm gonna say Dan.
I want to say
I think it was. Dan's like, I bet you'll get married before I do. And I was like, no, you'll get it. I was like, dude, you're gonna get married before I do. He's like, no. Keep in mind, we're very single at this point. When I say very single, like you know what very single is.
I got fat.
You have zero aspects.
He means I got fat.
No, I don't.
He means I weighed 180.
You realize you're revealing stuff that I never was.
He thought I was fat.
Never said that. The only reason I can't say that is because I will always be fatter than you. So it was just, we were both at a point in our life where we were both extremely single and had no prospects or hopes for a relationship, especially with past relationships. So it was just him and I going back and forth. No, you're going to get married before me. No. You're going to get married before me. And so I was like, you know what? Let's put this in writing.
You know what? I bet I still have it.
It's somewhere. So in our inebriated state, 2 copies of a contract that we both signed saying, because I was like, well, it's not really a bet unless we put something of significance on the line. So then what do? I don't know. How about $1,000? Great. So whoever, this is what the contract says, whoever got married first owed the other gentleman $1,000 upon
Wedding day.
upon kiss the bride.
Yeah.
Official marriage. Owe the other gentleman $1,000. Well, I can happily say I won that bet. And then also unhappily say I won that. Now, everyone thought that was cynical. I didn't, because I thought, look, if a girl is special enough that you're willing to pay the other guy $1,000, then that must
mean something.
It also must mean something. Well, Dan never paid me. Now, hold on, for good reason. Like, you guys had a lot going on with the house and all this, everything going on. And so I told Dan, because at one point he gave me a old Xbox One that I was going to give to my nephew. And then for the longest time, he had this TV, nice TV in the guest room that he kept going. He's like, just take the TV. Like, I don't want it. Like, you need a TV, just take it. So I told him, I was like, look, in lieu of the $1,000, I'm going to take this TV and I'll count the Xbox One towards it. So this definitely none of this equals $1,000. However, he's like, I'll take both of these and then I'll call it square. The bet is null and void.
Null and void, baby.
You don't owe me anything. So now we're square for that.
Well, on other news, that's the end of the episode for us here.
Oh, is it? All right, fine.
But thank you again to our not sponsor, PBR, for being such a solid drink. And for Velo, for the pickups when you need it.
You know, they say that PBR is only drank by old people and hipsters. We are none of those. However, if we fell into the category of one of those,
Old people.
I'd say old people. We're not hipsters by any stretch of the imagination.
Catch you next time.
Hasta luego.